When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
Now we move on to our top 10 offensive tackles. And the reason why we did this is last week we did edge rushers. You know, guys who sack the quarterback. Now we got to talk about the guys who protect the quarterback. The guys they mostly go heads up against, too.
One of the hardest jobs probably in the National Football
And
League.
the most unrecognized, as we saw. I mean, we came up with this list. Both me and you texted off, the off screen.
Yep.
And we're saying how hard it is to come up with names. But then once we found some names, it was like, dang, there's some guys that I did not put on this list.
Yep.
I'll start it off as usual, 10 through 6. Jason Peters at number 10. I mean, to me, bona fide, one of the best left tackles in the game. The reason why he's this low is because of injuries, and I don't know how he's going to bounce back. Because he's dealt with injuries and bounced back beforehand, that's no problem with that. It's just the fact that he's of, I believe, 34 years old. He's getting up there in age, and I don't know how well he can come back from this injury at being that old. Number 9, I have Jake Matthews. The Atlanta Falcons got a good franchise left tackle there. Now, granted, he's sometimes known for the holding he did in a Super Bowl.
Let's not go there.
Of course not. But at the same time, he's still one of the premier left tackles in the game. He's very relatively young, bright future ahead of him, and he comes from NFL bloodlines. You cannot pass that up. The Matthews family, to me, are... we can have this later discussion. I think that's the NFL's football family. How many pros they have based on that family. Everybody talks about the Mannings. Everybody talks about the Mannings, but last time I checked, there's only 3 of them, and the Matthews have 10. Exactly. Easily. There's Jake Matthews at 9. Then I have David Bakhtiari at 8 for the Green Bay Packers. Also, very underrated guy. Came out of nowhere. Was a bit underrated in the draft class. Came out of Colorado State. I believe I would have to check on that. And he's been a great left tackle for them for the longest. They've been needing an upgrade at offensive line to help protect Aaron Rodgers. It's somewhat diminished after his Super Bowl run. And same with their running back play. They still haven't gone to that, but we'll get into that later when we do our NFC North power rankings after this list. At 7, I have Cam Robinson, the rookie at Jacksonville, helped pave the way for Leonard Fournette. Really helped Blake Bortles not get sacked. They put him in great positions to be at a left tackle. He's a very good run blocker. And can also hold his own in the pass protection as well. Number 6, and the other Eagle on this list, Lane Johnson. One of the most athletic right tackles there is in this game. I mean, they were joking about it in his draft class that technically he was the first quarterback taken because he played quarterback at Oklahoma. Then moved to tight end, then he just kept getting bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, he was playing tackle at Oklahoma.
It's crazy.
Very athletic, very, very strong, right tackle there is. The Eagles have such a good, offensive line and such a good two bookend tackles to help protect their quarterback, whether it's Carson Wentz or Nick Foles, who may still be playing there due to Carson's injury and his recovery time. Okay. But that's my 10 through 6. What's your 10 through 6?
All right, my 10 through 6, starting at number 10, I got to put my man Jake Matthews in there, starting left tackle, Atlanta Falcons. Piggybacking off of what you said, he's a nice little addition to the Falcons roster. Definitely added some protection to franchise QB Matty Ice. So, Jake Matthews, he's not perfect like anyone else. He's made some mistakes in the biggest moment of his lives, but, it happens though, Jake Matthews, solid tackle, and he's just going to get better and better as years go on. Number 9, I have Alejandro Villanueva.
Right, the guy who not only protects his quarterback, but has protected this nation as serving in the Army.
As an Army Ranger.
Wow, that's one tough SOB.
Yeah, this guy's a real deal, Just out of respect, I had to put this guy in the top 10 on my
and not only just based on respect, he is, even though I may not have him on the list, as you may see, 5 through one, I still believe he is a good tackle. These are one of the tackles that I said that I had to have left off my list.
Yeah.
Just based on, like, some of these guys, I just think entering into the 2018 season, this is a projection of entering the season, how good these guys are, and I do believe that these guys, even though I may put him above Jason Peters just because Jason Peters was hurt and entering the season, he may still have recovery time. I don't know how well he'll do it, but you can make the argument that, yes, he does belong in the top 10 list.
Yep, no doubt. He's a solid player, definitely a hero. Number 8, we got Joe Staley in there, kind of an old head, but I threw him in the mix.
Very consistent there. He's always been the consistent factor there at San Francisco.
Definitely, he's seen a lot of quarterbacks come in and out of that place, and hopefully he's got a up and coming superstar in Jimmy Garoppolo to protect.
Yep.
So yeah, we got Joe Staley 8. Number 7, I got Lane Johnson, and number 6, I got Jason Peters. I love these Eagles tackles. I know Jason Peters got hurt, but I'm hoping he's gonna bounce back and continue to protect Carson Wentz next year. And Lane Johnson, outstanding tackle, protecting Carson Wentz, helping
the run game.
Nick Foles out, winning the Super Bowl. Nick Foles beating Tom Brady. Lane Johnson. Think about it. Nick Foles was like barely even touched in that Super Bowl.
That's true. They did help open up and did a lot of great play calling as well with that team. My thing is, my argument was with Jason Peters. Believe it or not, when I started this list, he was at high as number 2 for me, starting off, because I thought if you would just get rid of the injury, because he's felt with injuries most of his career. He's arguably, now that Joe Thomas is gone, because if Joe Thomas was still playing, both me and you, I would have said this, he would have been the number 1 tackle still to this day.
Definitely.
But Jason Peters should be as high as 2, because I think arguably if he wasn't hurt, he would be the best left tackle, almost the best left tackle, or in the conversation of the best left tackle right now in all of the NFL.
Yep.
Again, those are the two guys. You have the 2 Eagles, so pretty much me and you are relatively. We have 3 players similar in our bottom 5. Now 5 through 1, I have Ryan Ramczyk, another rookie on here. Rookie out of Wisconsin. Believe he was the 29th pick for the New Orleans Saints. And one of the key things helping turning this team around. Great run blocker. A lot of people were doubting his commitment to football, believe it or not. That's why he fell so low in that draft class, because they felt like he didn't have passion for the game.
Wow.
And let me tell you this, you can quite see it now that he does. He helped pave the way for that running attack that they have there. Helped protected Drew Brees on the right side. I believe he's only a right tackle now that Zach Strief is gone, but they do have Armstead there for their left tackle, so I do believe that they are relatively set there for their offensive line. Number 4, Nate Solder, he got paid. That's the number 1 thing. I believe he's the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL right now with the New York Giants. He was with the New England Patriots, and he's a guy, came in very tall. He's 6'8", big dude, but he's also very smooth and very athletic at 6'8". Usually with taller tackles, the biggest problem they have with them is the fact that they don't get enough leverage. That smaller guys can bend around them faster, or they can, bull rush them and jack them up, easily because they're so tall. But he's so smooth and able to bend, and also his long arm reach. He's able to, if somebody were to bend around him, he's able to stick out those long arms, and prevent them from getting to the quarterback.
Yep.
Now, sometimes they may have been called in a holding call, but at the same time, as they say, there's holding on every single down sometimes in the NFL.
Definitely.
But yeah, Nate Solder's highest 4. Number 3, Andrew Whitworth. A guy he was known with the Cincinnati Bengals, kind of blew up at the end of his career, was a guard first, then moved to left tackle. When he came to the Rams, it helped pave the way for that explosive offense that they had out there. And, putting up points. And he's also one of the big reasons why they were so highly successful running the ball. Not only is he a great road paver for Gurley, but he's also a great pass protector for their young quarterback in Jared Goff, and that offense got going out there. Now, he's one of the older guys on this list, but age don't mean a thing out here when you're a left tackle. He's still out here paving the way for these guys out there with the Los Angeles Rams. Number 2, I have Taylor Lewan. Another young guy on this list out there with the Tennessee Titans. He's a very tough, nitty-gritty, and he is willing. The one thing I love about him, he's willing to fight and protect his quarterback at all times. A lot of people may not like the fact that he may be having a mean streak to him, but I love my offensive linemen to be having a mean streak to them. He will defend all his players. He will talk the smack. He'll be the first one in a fight to have your back no matter what. And that's the thing I love about offensive tackles. But that's all to do with outside of the game. But in the game, he's an animal, man. He will block. He deals with the Texans a lot due to the fact that they have such a great front seven. Yep. And also with the Jacksonville Jaguars as well too. And he can hold his own against those premier pass rushers they have in that division.
That's a rough division for an offensive tackle.
Yeah. And number 1, I believe, is Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, to me, on any given day, first of all, it's the best offensive line in the country, and he's the best offensive lineman in there. You have to put him at number 1.
You have to.
Because, ever since he entered the league, it was just, he came in relatively young. At 20 years old, he was drafted out of USC. Played right tackle at first and moved to left tackle. And ever since he was at left tackle, man, he has held his own for the longest. He's always been the consistent piece there at that offensive line. Yep. Now that you added more with Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and Collins, that offensive line is dirty, man. Up there, it is. You can put both me and you back there, and we get 500 yards maybe in the season easily. And we never played it down in the NFL. And he's so good. He when he was out injured, Adrian Claiborne got 6 sacks in one game. I'm pretty sure Adrian Claiborne maybe would have had 2 sacks, maybe 1 or even 0. If he's number 1 on our list, maybe not even get touched at all. But Tyron Smith, he's the perfect all-around tackle. He's super strong. He's super athletic, way more athletic than people give him credit for. He can pass protect. He can run block. He can do it all. He's also he's in the prime of his career too as well for the Cowboys, and he's going to be good for a long time. We're talking maybe retiring at maybe 37. We're looking at a very long career, and he takes the mantle for us now as being the best. Well, for me, being the best tackle in all of the NFL.
Spoiler alert, me too.
Right. So what's your list, 5 through 1?
So 5 through 1. Number 5, I got Trent Williams, from the Washington Redskins. It's a solid pick right there. Number 4, I got Donald Penn, Oakland Raiders. If you look at the sack numbers among starting quarterbacks, Derek Carr was one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that has a lot to do with Donald Penn, so I'm putting him number 4. Number 3, I'm piggybacking off of you with Taylor Lewan from the Tennessee Titans. Solid tackle right there. Nasty, gritty, everything you said and more. So I got him number 3. Number 2, I have Nate Solder, longtime Patriot tackle. This dude. If you even look back in the Super Bowl, besides from the one turnover that Tom Brady had, which actually came from his right side.
Yeah, from the right side, not even on Nate Solder's side.
Tom Brady was virtually untouched the entire Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it was a good transition for the Patriots. You go from a guy like Matt Light, who was there for 10 years protecting Tom Brady. Yep. And they draft Nate Solder to be his heir replacement. And Tom Brady, good job by the New England front office in able to always have a guy to, always having a good left tackle to help protect their future Hall of Famer, the best ever player to come through that organization, to set him up well. Because we all know how do you get to Tom Brady is by rushing at him. So how you counteract that? You got to set him up with a bona fide left tackle and good offensive line work,
And for number 1, I got the same as you, Tyron Smith.
All-around beast.
All I can say is he's the best he's the best offensive lineman on the best offensive line. So, yeah, you have to give him that. And he helped the former Falcon get a franchise record in sacks. So, of course, I have to give him number 1 for that. Thank you, Tyron Smith, for not being in that game, by the way.
Right. That does it for our top 10 offensive linemen entering the 2018 season.